Perfectly. Right. So how I'm gonna preface this information is, as you know, I want to thank everybody for getting onto the call. Really, as I start this information, I want you guys to know this information is dangerous information. Very dangerous information. Why do I call it dangerous? It's dangerous because it could change your bank account. It could change your zip code, right? It's information that really can put you into a whole entire different way of not only making money, but understanding how money works, right? And so what I really want you to understand is that, right, you being here today is really an opportunity for you to understand and learn how to create generational wealth. See, I tell people all the time that if creating generational wealth was easy, then everybody would do it. Everybody would do it, right? So it's not always easy to be the person that wants to, create generational wealth for your family, right? So I encourage you to lock in. I encourage you to cut off all your distractions. I encourage you to make sure you tap into this information because number one, it's free, but number two, if you don't pay attention, right? And so sometimes maybe it's not about paying with money. Sometimes it's paying with you just being locked in and being focused into, what you can learn and what you can gain, right? Right, what you can learn and what you pretty much can gain. Now, when I say the information is dangerous, right? I want you to handle it with caution, right? Like handle it with caution. What do I mean by caution? Right? What do I mean by caution? Because it's like a warning label, right? Like it's like a warning label. You know how you look at some medicine, there's a warning label, and it kind of warns you of certain side effects and things like that. Well, this is kind of what this is like, right? Because I really want you to handle this with care, right? Because this information, right, these skill sets that I'm going to teach you today, right, is really something that will send massive money to your bank account and will allow you to create generational wealth from wherever you are today. That's how serious this information is. Now, me, myself, I'm a college dropout, right? I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. I'll kind of get into my story later, but what I want you guys to know is that I'm going to break down step by step everything that you guys need to be able to fix your credit, right? Step by step, how to fix your credit, right? How to leverage your credit to get up to $500,000 in funding, how to do your applications when it comes to business funding. I'm going to break everything down step by step. All you have to do is make sure you tune in and stay to the end. Right. See, if you stay to the end, I promise you, even when it comes to the funding, how to fill out the applications, what needs to go in your application, what not to do, what to do when it comes to structuring your LLCs and structuring your businesses, all that's going to be pretty much broken down, but you just have to stay to the end to get all the information. Right. So I'm going to get right into it. I thank everybody for getting on. Happy Sunday to the people that really came to invest in themselves. And I'm so excited to work with you guys, champions who really want to invest in themselves and not really want to take time just to watch TV and just, be haphazard when it comes to creating generational wealth. So, boom. So, like I said, we're going to get straight into it, right? We're going to teach you how to repair your credit. It says in 7 days, how to be able to use other people's money to kind of fund your dreams and fund your situation, right? Now, right now is the last time for you guys to get access to the bundle. In that bundle, it basically teaches you, number one, how to remove inquiries in 24 hours. See, the reason why removing inquiries is so powerful, right? It's such a powerful thing, right? Is because a lot of time when you want to get business funding, the thing that will stop you from getting business funding is when banks see, right? When banks see that you have, basically went to other banks and tried and inquired to other banks to get funded. So we basically break down how to be able to give you access to a way to remove any inquiry, right? Whether it's on, TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian, how to be able to remove your inquiries within 24 hours. The reason that's so important too is because when you remove the inquiries in 24 hours, you can go after more banks and more credit unions and get access to more capital in a very short period of time, right? The business structure and funding guide. There's a very strict ways you can structure your business. A very certain way to structure your LLC, whether that's your business phone number, your business email, right? Making sure that you list yourself and listyourself.net. There's certain things that you need to structure your business to get up to $500,000 in funding. And this book gives you the guide step by step on how to structure your business. The secret lenders list. See what a secret lenders list is it gives you the ability to understand what bank is going to pull from TransUnion, what bank is going to pull from Experian, what bank is going to pull from Equifax. Now, when you know what banks pull from which reporting agencies, it allows you to get multiple different credit cards at one time. So I'm going to show you guys today, even today, I'm going to show you a sequence later on today. If you stay to the end, I'm going to show you how you can get four credit cards on just one inquiry. Right? 4 credit cards on just one inquiry. Imagine putting yourself in a position to get 4 credit cards, business credit cards, right? One inquiry, and you can get up to 100,000 just by doing one sequence because you know what bank is going to pull from what reporting agency. See, we break all that stuff down in the class today. There's also a DIY credit repair guide that basically teaches you, right, how to, in a sense, remove negative items using our famous 2-week method. right? Using the famous 2-week method. Now, in this class, I'm not even gonna show you the 2-week method. I'm gonna show you the 4-day method. If you want to learn how to remove negative items in 4 days, drop number 4 in the chat. Drop number 4 in the chat. There's someone who wants to learn how to remove negative items off your credit in 4 days, right? Drop the number 4 in the chat, right? So what you got to understand is that this right now is going to be the last time for you pretty much to get access to this bundle. And we're going to basically drop the link here. But if I was you, I would get it. And the reason I would get it is because I would want access to that secret winners list. I would want access to that secret winners list. Because I've seen people get access to the secret winners list, take the stuff that I'm going to teach today in the class, and position themselves for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, in funding, right? So just make sure that you tap into that if you want to, but, you know, no hard sell on that, because I'm not going to sell you guys on information that's going to change your situation. It's up to you to really understand what I'm getting ready to give you guys, how it can change you, how it's going to affect you, all that good stuff. So just wanted to make sure that that link worked. And that link is also in the chat for anybody who did miss it. But for sure, right? So what we're going to go over today, we're going to go over how you can use the law to spot different violations, right? I'm going to show you how to get up to $500,000 in funding. I'm going to show you the #1 secret method that we use to get negative items removed off your credit from home, not sending out letters, not doing mail, not having to go to the post office. I'm going to show you how to do everything from home, and how to acquire a 0% business funding up to $500,000, multiple different business credit cards, lines of credit, loans, everything you're going to need to kind of scale and grow your business, right? Now, what I need you to do is just be committed. See, what happens is commitment is doing what you said you would do long after the mood you set it has left you, right? And what do I need you to be committed to? Your future. See, I need you to be committed to creating generational wealth. See, if everybody, like I said, if everybody was creating generational wealth, then everybody would be doing that. What I know everybody is doing is out working a job. I know everybody going to work, nothing wrong with that, but what you're doing is creating generational wealth for your boss and for whoever owns the company. So I need you to be committed to what you need to do to create generational wealth for you and your family, for your loved ones, right? Because think about it like this, right? Who would want to be able to write one check to take care of their family, their kids, do what they want, travel the world, do whatever you want, right? And not have to worry about money. See, there's certain foundational things that you need to make sure you're never worrying about money. And what I'm going to break down today is the foundational tools that you're going to need, right? So who is this class for? This class is for people that really want to create generational wealth and that really want to execute on information. See, so often people come to class, and when they come to class, they're not ready to execute, right? They're looking for handouts. This is not going to be a class that's going to give you the handouts, but what I will give you is really a way you can fend for yourself and if you do everything I tell you to do, you're going to put yourself in a position to create generational wealth, not only for you, but for your kids and for your family. Right? My story, look, I started off broke. I was a college dropout. I watched my family struggle. Who in here got parents, got family that you watched struggle growing up? Drop a 1 in the chat. If you watch your family, go to work every single day, work 30, 40, 50 hours a week, 40, 50 years, right? See, that was me. I watched my family struggle, right? Now, drop a #1 in the chat if you're someone who wants to end the struggle. If you're right now on this call, you want to see, and you want to end the struggle for you and your family, drop a 1 in the chat. Because for you to end the struggle, that means you have to do something different so that you can get something different. See, success is all about speed. It's how fast do you want to create success in your life, right? Like, how fast do you want to get to your dream life? Write this down. How fast do you want to get to your dream life? Because see, so many people are playing with this thing that we call life, because you think you have tomorrow. You think you have the next day. You think you got next week. You think you got next year, right? But we can agree that you need to live your life in a situation where it's all about when. It's about now. No opportunity wasted, right? So yeah, I grew up in Baltimore. I dropped out of college. I watched my family struggle. But today, see, it wasn't about where I started, because what is it really about? If it's not about where you started, it's all about where you what? Where you going? So my question to you is, where, everybody on this call, where are you going? Where do you want to end up at? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to take care of, right? What dreams and goals do you really have when it comes to your actual future, right? That's really what's important, right? So have you ever been denied? Who's been denied for a loan before? Because you were scared. You didn't really know, right? You didn't really know what to put on the application, or you didn't really have your business structure properly, right? See, that was me, right? So I just want to see that you're committed. Everybody needs to be committed to being committed to your family, being committed to your goals, being committed to your dreams, and pretty much, just what we have going on, right? And all I'm asking for is just 1% of your trust. I'm asking for 1% of your trust. I'll gain the rest of the trust just by going through all the information tonight, right? Now, the first thing that we need to go into is what does your credit report need to look like so that you can access capital, right? What does your credit report need to look like so that you can access capital? Everybody needs to take a screenshot of what you pretty much see on the screen right here, right? Because this is what your credit report needs to look like. First thing is when it says 100% payment history. What is 100% payment history? See, what I see that happens all the time, right, is that we have, different people that have late payments. You might have charge-offs, you might have collections, you might have judgments, you might have a bankruptcy. You have things on your credit report that you show the bank that you're not lendable and that you're not fundable, right? So you need to have 100% payment history, right? I'm going to show you guys tonight how to, when it says right here, it says 0 derogatory marks. Anything that's derogatory, late payments, charge-offs, collections, judgments, bankruptcies, I'm going to show you how to remove everything off your credit tonight. So when it comes to 100% payment history, that's the one thing you have to have. You have to show banks that you can, over time, make on-time payments, right? And you want to make sure you have 0 derogatory remarks. So we don't want to have any late payments, no charge-off, no collections. If you pull your credit report and you have negative items, that's the number one thing you need to delete and you need to remove right away, right? So that you can get access to capital, right? It says 6% credit card utilization, right? So what happens with credit cards is they have what's called a due date and a statement date. They have a due date, they have a statement date. What happens is a lot of times that I see is that people will max out their credit cards because they don't understand their due dates, they don't understand the statement date. So you need to write this down. Your due date is what calculates your interest payment, right? It's really what calculates your interest payment, right? So if you want to make sure you avoid paying any interest on the credit card, just make sure you pay the credit card off in full by the due date. If you have credit cards in your wallet and you don't know when the due dates are, what you need to do is you need to reach out to whoever company that you have the credit cards with and find out your actual due date. If you pay your cards off in full by the due date, you will never pay interest on a credit card. Okay? Your statement date. A statement date is pretty much what gets reported to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, right? That is called your reporting date, your statement date. So the biggest thing that you want to do is by your statement date, you want to make sure that you pay the credit card down to less than 10% utilization. So if you have a $1,000 limit, less than 10% will be making sure that it's not more than $100 reporting at that time. If you have a 10 grand limit, making sure that nothing more than $1,000 is reporting at that time. So make sure you understand your statement dates and your reporting dates, guys. I mean, your due date and your statement date. Okay? No derogatory remarks. I just talked about that. The biggest problem holding people up from getting funding for their business is because they have late payments, they got charge-offs, you got collections, you got bankruptcies. You have negative remarks on your credit. It's the biggest thing that's holding you up. The biggest mistake that I see people make is that they go to the bank trying to get funding knowing they have negative items on their credit. Okay? Boom. It says age of credit history, 5 years and 9 months, right? What that basically means is that you want to have some credit history on your report. Right? If you don't have any history on your report, then you can also add what is called authorized user. You can add trade lines. Okay? But write this down. Do not add trade lines if you still have negative items. If you still got bankruptcies and charge-offs and collections and late payments, don't add trade-offs. Trade lines. Right? Because you're going to add sugar on top of shit. Right? Think about it. If you ever added sugar on top of shit, does anybody think that would be a good mix? No, can't we agree, right? So just make sure that you do not add on trade lines if you still have negative items on your credit. Okay, when it says total accounts, you want to have 11 plus positive accounts, right? 11 plus positive accounts. That could be an auto loan, that could be a mortgage, that could be multiple different credit cards. You might do some loans, secured loans, but just make sure you have 11 plus positive accounts, and you want to make sure on each report, whether it's TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian, you want to make sure you have less than 5 inquiries on each reporting agency. Less than 5 inquiries each reporting agency. Okay? Make sure you take a picture of this because this is what your report needs to look like so that you can get funding. Now, the biggest thing that most people don't really understand about funding is that you can get up to $250,000 in personal funding, not including the $250,000, $300,000 you can get in business funding. See, what I see people do a lot of time, right, is a lot of people focus on going to work. Nothing wrong with work. But see, you can borrow money a lot faster than you can earn it making it at work. If you can get 250,000 in funding on your personal credit, and you can get another 250,000 on your business, that is up to what, $500,000 in funding. Who thinks that if they got $500,000 in funding, that they can go and start some businesses, right? Who thinks they can go and find a profitable real estate situation if they had $500,000 in funding? So the reason I tell you guys is that you need to focus on making sure you fix your credit, because I see so many people that they give up, 3, 4, 5 months into fixing their credit, not realizing that you're supposed to work 40 years. 40 years you're supposed to go to work. 30, 40 hours a week, you're supposed to do that for the next 40 years. But if it takes 6 months, if it takes a year, if it takes 2 years to fix your credit, and you can get up to $500,000 in funding, who would rather take $500,000 in funding over 1, 2 years worth of work, rather than going to 40 years worth of work, 40 hours a week, and you still end up broke? Talk to me. Let's have a real conversation. Because most people, they want to see work 30, 40 years or 40 hours a week, and you're still going to end up broke. I'm telling you that you want to take the time out, whether it takes 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years to fix your credit, because now you get access to $500,000 in funding. I know people right now at their job that if they work 30, 40 years, they won't even get access to $500,000 in their lifetime.
Right.
Right? So this is a process that we got to start taking more seriously. Okay. Now, what's the number one thing I want you guys to understand? That the credit bureaus itself, they don't exist. Right? When you hear the word bureau, what comes to mind when you guys hear the word bureau? What do you guys think about? What comes to mind when you guys hear the word bureau? Drop it in chat. Think what comes to mind, right? When y'all hear the word bureau, what comes to mind?
Police, Fed.
Right? Feds, okay, FBI, perfect, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is the government likes to play what is called mind games. The reason why they use the word bureau is because they want you to think that they have some type of jurisdiction or they have some type of rights, things that they don't really have. And I'm going to prove this in the law, right? Let's get to the law, right? We're going to prove this in the law. So 15 USC 1681. Right, perfect. Okay. So let's get to the law. Okay, boom. So 15 USC 1602, it states, right? It says the term bureau means the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. Term bureau means the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. Does it say TransUnion? Does it say Equifax? Does it say Experian? No. So why do we call them credit bureaus? Why? Because what happens is the government pretty much controls how we think and how we see certain things. And so if you didn't understand that, if you didn't know that, then you would think that the credit bureau is really something that exists. It doesn't really exist. The only bureau is this one. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is the only one that actually exists. Okay, so there's no such thing as the credit bureaus, right? We need to stop thinking that, stop calling them that, stop looking at them that way. Like, we just got to stop that, right? So now we're going to get kind of straight into the law.
Run that back. Consumer credit what?
I got you. Let me drop the link in the chat for you. So. Right? Drop the link for you in the chat. There you go. And so okay. So all right. First thing is, right? Just getting straight into the law, right? So 15 USC 1681. What does it state? Right? It says that Congress made these findings and statement of purpose. Congressional findings and statement of purpose. So Congress made these findings, and this is their statement of purpose, right? What does it say? It says the banking system is dependent upon fair and accurate credit reporting. It says inaccurate credit reports directly impair the efficiency of the what? Of the banking system. Unfair credit reporting methods undermine the public confidence, which is essential to the continued functioning of the banking system. What's next? It says an elaborate mechanism has been developed for investigating and evaluating the credit worthiness, credit standing, credit capacity, your character, and general reputation of consumers. Right? What is another word for mechanism? Another word for
commodities. Innovation.
Anybody else take a guess? Another word? It starts with an M.
Starts with an M.
Starts with an M.
Methodology. Methods.
Machine, right? So an
Machine.
elaborate machine, right? An elaborate machine has been developed for investigating and evaluating the credit worthiness, credit standing, credit capacity, character, and general reputation of consumers. So did anybody know that a machine was investigating and evaluating your worthiness, your standing, your capacity, your character, or your reputation? Did anybody know a machine was doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? What is this machine? So here's the machine, right? It's called the eOscar system. It's an online solution for complete and accurate reporting. It's designed to provide data furnishers with an online solution for processing consumer credit disputes. So anytime you're sending in letters and you're fighting your case, basically what you're dealing with is a machine. And Congress is telling you that this machine is pretty much making decisions on your everyday life. What's next? It says consumer reporting agencies have assumed a vital role in assembling and evaluating consumer credit and other information on consumers, right? What's next? It says there is a need to ensure that consumer reporting agencies exercise their great responsibility with fairness, impartiality, and a respect for what? What does that say? Respect for what? It says the consumer's right to privacy. Who here with me? Who's following me? Who with me, right? So what is it basically saying? That we all have a right to what? We have a right to privacy. Okay, bingo, we have a right to privacy. So let's just say you got a collection. Let's just say you had a credit card with Capital One. Capital One sells your debt to LB&B funding, right? When they sold the debt, what else did they also sell when they sold your debt? They sold your what? Your name, your phone, email. They sold your personal private what? Information, your data, bingo, right? 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 So think about that, right? They sold your personal private information. Think about that. So if they sold your personal private information without your consent, they pretty much violated your right to privacy. They have violated your right to privacy. So anytime that you have a collection, anytime you have a charge, anytime you have something that's on your credit that you didn't actually agree with, they actually sold your actual information without your consent. So anytime you have a bankruptcy, a charge off, a collection, anything of that sort, what happens is they have now violated your actual right to privacy. Right? So this is one law right here, 15 USC 1681A4, that you can pretty much use to remove bankruptcies. You can use it to remove collections. You can use it to remove any negative information where your right to privacy was actually violated. 15 USC 1681A4. Y'all following? And basically, I'm going to give y'all laws that you guys can use right now to remove negative items. All right, let's say you got late payments. 15 USC 1666B. What does it say? It says a creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-end consumer credit plan as late for any what? Purpose, unless the creditor has adopted reasonable procedures to ensure that each periodic statement is mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. Has anybody ever gotten their statement 21 days before their payment due date?
Nope.
No. So that means that they don't have a right to mark you what?
Late.
Late. If they did not give you your statement 21 days before your due date, they do not have a right to mark you late. Did you know that?
What?
Most people don't even know that. That's 15 USC 1666B. You can use that law to remove any late payments that you have on your credit. Okay? Next. When you have negative items or inaccurate information, what does it say? It says, this is 15 USC 1681E, letter B. 15 USC 1681E, letter B. It says, whenever a consumer reporting agency prepares a consumer report, it shall follow reasonable procedures to assure maximum possible accuracy of the information concerning the individual about whom the report relates. What is maximum possible accuracy as a percentage, guys? Drop it in the chat for me. Right? 100%. Right? 100%. So what does that mean, right? That if anything on your credit report is not 100% accurate, that means that what? It should be removed. That it shall be removed. Right? So all you got to do is look for inaccurate information, whether it's inaccurate reporting dates, inaccurate start dates, statement dates, if inaccurate account statuses, right? Any of that stuff that's not accurate, it shall be removed. This is 15 USC 1681E, letter B, right? Right? So this is accuracy of information. I gave you guys late payments, right? Talked about also if you're dealing with collections and things of that nature, right? Another thing that you can use for inaccurate information is 15 USC 1681 I5. Treatment of inaccurate or unverifiable information. It says if after any reinvestigation, any information disputed by a consumer and an item of the information is found to be inaccurate, incomplete, or can't be verified, the consumer reporting agency shall promptly delete the item of that information from the file of the consumer.
Hey, boss, what was that last USC?
Right? It's all in the chat. The laws are definitely in chat. They're being dropped. Right? So just understand that basically anytime there's inaccurate information, right? These are the different laws that you pretty much can use to remove these negative items or inaccurate information that's pretty much on your credit. Right? If you want to remove inquiries, 15 USC 1681B, permissible purpose, right? This is 15 USC 1681B A2, right? BA2. It says that any consumer reporting agency may furnish a consumer report under the following circumstances and no other. It says in accordance with the written instructions of the consumer to whom it relates. So if you did not give written instructions as a consumer, that means that there should not be anybody pulling your report or doing any inquiries on your report without your actual consent. Okay, so this is basically what you would use to remove negative inquiries. 15 USC 1681B. Okay, and I'm just giving you guys laws that we actually use today. Okay, now this is where it gets a little heavy. Okay, 15 USC, this is 1681A, the number 2, the letter A, the letter I. So 15 USC 1681A to AI. What does it say? It says the term consumer report. The term consumer report does not include, so that means your credit report doesn't include. Right? Your credit report does not include what? It doesn't include any information solely as to your transactions or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report. So your credit report, it doesn't include any report that contains information solely as to transactions, right? Transactions could be late payments, right? That could also be collections, that could also be charge-offs, because it's saying transactions or experiences between who? Between you, who's the consumer? We are, right? We're the consumer. And who would be the person that makes the report? Right? Those are the banks, the credit unions. So it's basically telling you that your credit report, it doesn't include a report that contains information dealing with your transactions or your experiences. So if you have late payments, if you have charge-offs, if you have high utilization, this law pretty much is what you can use to combat that. This is 15 USC 1681 A, the number 2, the letter A, the letter I. Okay, 15 USC 1681 A2 AI. Now let's scroll down to letter B, right? So we start from the top. It says the term consumer report, it doesn't include any what? Authorization or approval of a specific extension of credit directly or indirectly by the issuer of a credit card. So let's pull it up. Okay. So the term credit card has the same meaning as in 1602. So let's go to 1602. Right? So we go to 1602. Let's look at what the term credit card means. All right. So it says the term credit card means any card, plate, coupon book, or other credit device existing for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, or services on credit. Okay. What kind of card do we use to obtain money, property, or service? Money, property, right? Services and stuff on credit. What kind of card do we use to do that? What kind of card? What kind of card do we use to get services on credit?
Credit card.
Okay. That's the term credit card is saying the term credit card means this. What kind of card do we use? The term credit card means any card, plate, coupon book, or other credit device existing for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, or services on credit. Bingo. Tanya
Does
got
that
it right.
include your debit card?
Tanya got it right. Bingo. Tanya got it right. Greg got it right. Your social security card. Y'all following? What kind of card do we use? Right? When we want to get something, when we want to get a property on credit, don't we gotta use our social security number or card?
You can use an EIN.
Okay, right? Right? If we want to get, I mean, we want to get a car. If we want to get anything we want to get, we usually have to use our social security number, correct? For the most part. So let's go back to the definition, right? It says the term credit report. Let's scroll down.
I'm sorry, I can't fucking hear on my phone now.
Right? So the term credit report does not include, what does B say? Any authorization or approval of a specific extension of credit directly or indirectly by the issuer of a what? Credit card, right? So if we issued our social security number, because we understand that credit card means our social security number, if we issued our social security number, it says that our credit report should not include what? See if y'all can comprehend. Our credit report should not include what? If we issued our social security number, our credit report does not include any approval of an extension of what? Credit. Okay. What's some extensions of credit? What's some extensions of credit, guys? Talk to me. What's some extensions of credit?
Loans.
Okay, loans. What kind of loans? Throw out some different type of loans.
House loan, car loans, anything.
Auto loans, mortgage loans. Okay. So if you got approved for an extension of an auto loan using your social security card, right? Your credit report does not what? Your credit report, your consumer report, your credit report, it does not include any approval of a specific extension of credit. So if you got approved for auto loan, if you got approved for mortgage loan, if you got approved for a credit card, and you use your social security number, it should not be on your what?
On your credit.
It shouldn't be on your credit report. Did anybody understand that? Are y'all really following me right now?
Yeah, but how do you prevent it?
Great question, right? I'm going to show you exactly how to do that later, or how we get. But it's not about preventing it. It's about making sure you understand the law, so that when you want to remove something off your credit report, what can we do?
Hey, can I speak? Can I say something?
Yeah, we have a Q&A part. We have a Q&A, but if you answer my questions, for sure. But we have a Q&A part if you have a question.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just joined the meeting. I'm sorry. I ain't trying to interrupt. I'm getting this knowledge. I'm sorry, my brother.
Nah, you good, bro. It's all good, bro. But I'm just saying, so what is it saying? It's saying that consumer report means credit report, right? So our credit report, it does not include any approval of an extension of credit. So if you got approved for auto loan, a mortgage loan, a credit card, a personal loan, right? It's saying that if you got approved for an extension of credit, right? Directly or indirectly, and you issued your social security number, the term credit report, it does not include any approvals. So anytime that you got approved, it could be a student loan, an auto loan, a mortgage loan, or whatever the loan is you got approved for. If you use your social security card, your credit report should not include that. So that means that you can really delete anything that you pretty much want off your credit report. You can delete anything you want off your credit report if you use your social security number to get approved for it. That's pretty much what it's saying. So that law is 15 USC 1681 A2B. 15 USC 1681 A2B. And that's for anything that you want deleted. Anything that you want deleted off your credit report, you can leverage that law, because if you got approved for something, right, and it's on your credit report and you use your social security number, it's telling you your credit report, your consumer report, it does not include any approvals or extensions for an extension of credit. So you can leverage that law to pretty much get anything that you want deleted off your credit report. If you want to delete it in 4 days, here you go. Right? 15 USC 1681 C-2. The code was 15 USC. Okay. It was the one before that. 1681. Right? Also dropped in there. 15 USC 1681 A2B. Right? Now it's saying a consumer reporting agency shall block the reporting a consumer reporting agency shall block the reporting of any information in the file of the consumer that the consumer identifies as information that resulted from an alleged identity theft, not later than 4 business days, right, after the date of the receipt by such agency. So what that basically means is that if you identify something as identity theft, now what is identity theft? Let's look it up. Identity theft means a fraud committed using the identifying information of another person, right? A fraud committed using the identifying information of another person. So think about it like this, right? If Capital One sells your debt to a third party, right? That means that they committed a fraud using your what?
Information.
Your information, right? If you think about a bankruptcy, a lot of times bankruptcy show up on your credit report, but we know that the court does not report the Equifax TransUnion Experian. So that means that was another case of a fraud being committed using your what?
Your identity.
Your identity. So pretty much anything that you have, whether it could be child support. Does the child support court report the TransUnion Equifax or Experian?
No.
Right. So a lot of times, most of the hardest stuff that's on your report that you need to remove, it's actually a version of identity theft.
Basically, incorrect accuracy. Basically,
it's inaccuracy. Yes. So basically, what happens is you can have that removed off your report. All you have to do is do an appropriate proof of identity of the consumer, a copy of an identity theft report. You can file a copy of an identity theft report by going to identitytheft.gov. So identitytheft.gov allows you to basically do an official identity theft report, right? You want to make sure you give them identification such as your driver's license, and you also want to have a statement, just a statement that the information is not information relating to any transaction by the consumer. Okay, and you can have any negative item removed: collection, bankruptcy, child support, You can have any of that removed in 4 business days, just by leveraging the law.
So I was using your method and I was looking at one of your videos because I'm highly influenced of what you're doing. And the CFPB, using your method, it took like 3 days and they sent me an email saying stuff been deleted off my report using your method.
For
You
sure.
are the truth. You are the truth, my boy.
Congratulations, right? So what happens is, it's just understand that you gotta leverage, right? This, even the CFPB, it's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It's here to protect you, right? So what happens is, right, is that basically this is another way to get negative items removed, but like I said, in 4 business days. Okay.
It took 3.
If you have like collections, let's say you actually have collections, things like that. Right? I like to use a cease and desist.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's called the
Yep.
cease and desist.
You know
So
what he's talking about. Yep.
So what happens is you have 15 USC 1692C, the letter C, right? And what does it say? It says if a consumer notifies a debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay a debt collector, refuses to pay a debt, or that the consumer wishes the debt collector to cease further communication with the debt collector, right? Well, I'm sorry, let's gotta run it back, right? It says if the consumer notifies the debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay a debt, or that the consumer wishes the debt collector to cease further communication with the consumer, the debt collector shall not communicate further with the consumer with respect to such debt.
So if they communicate, they're violating our laws, correct?
Yep, that's a fact, right?
Your methods is the truth.
So basically, it's just understanding that you can basically have them cease and desist reporting on your credit. You can cease and desist them sending out letters, calling your phone. Any of that type of stuff is actually a violation, right? So this is basically what I use. And you can sue them ahead and pay. Yes, you can, Coach Ron, right? So what happens is, this is just so you understand what laws that we use to pretty much remove collections and things like that, pretty much off the credit, right? And so, like, these are all the laws. All the laws are in the chat. Right? So that you understand the different laws. Now, when people say, okay, now that I have the different laws, how do I leverage? What's the way that I leverage them? How do I leverage the different laws? What do I use, or how do I go in and get this stuff? Are the laws for every state? Yes, they're for every state, right? So how do I go in and leverage these certain laws? Well, so what happens is, what I see people do a lot of times, they just don't really understand how to leverage certain things that have been given to us, right? That we can leverage. So I'll give an example. Right? So let's say I got a problem with a collection agency or whatever, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leverage ChatGPT. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to basically prompt it. I'm going to say, you are a consumer law expert who specializes in the FDCPA and the FCRA. All that means is FDCPA stands for Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. FCRA stands for Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? So now he's going to basically kind of understand that is basically giving it a certain prompt. Now, once we prompt this, I'm just going to let it do a thing real quick. Right now, once we prompt it, I'm going to say, write me an affidavit to TransUnion, right? Write me an affidavit to TransUnion. They are illegally reporting a bankruptcy on my consumer report, violating 15 USC 1681 A4. I never consented to having this furnished on my consumer report. Okay, perfect. Right now, the reason why we're going to ask write affidavit is because an affidavit is an official sworn statement by you as the consumer. So check this out. Bingo. So now my affidavit is drafted, right? Now, of course, once we draft the affidavit, we do have to make sure we go in and take out some of the like add the right information into it, right? But now we have the affidavit drafted for the most part. How long did it take me to draft this affidavit?
30 seconds.
20
Okay.
seconds.
Right? It wasn't long at all, right? So draft it quick, right? Now, what's next? Once we have the affidavit drafted, what's the next step? What is the next step that we want to use for the affidavit to make sure that now not only is it's an official sworn statement, what's the next thing that we want to do to make sure it's official, it's locked in?
Sign it and have it notarized.
Have it notarized. Bingo, Greg. So if we want to have it notarized, we can go to notarylive.com. What does it say? Notarize your documents online anywhere at any time. So now that means we don't even have to leave the house to get a document notarized. So we draft the affidavit, right? We go to notarylive.com, get it notarized. What's next, Greg? We got an affidavit, it's notarized. What's next? How do we want to mail it in?
Certified.
Bingo. We go to onlinecertifiedmail.com. How long does anybody think it would take to use this method to basically get everything, to make sure we draft the proper affidavit, make sure that we are putting all the negative items into it, right? Going to notarylive.com, get notarized, and then sending it off from home certified mail.
Couple hours. Get everything
Right.
ready and took
Maybe.
off.
I don't know. It only took ChatGPT 30 seconds to write the letter.
10 minutes.
Yeah, right. Gotta get it notarized. That might take a little bit of time. But now we have everything done. It's notarized. I mean, the affidavit is drafted, it's notarized, and then we sent it certified. Right now, if you want to add a little bit of pressure on, like my guy said earlier, you can go back to CFPB and you can file a complaint. And what you just sent in certified, you would just take all that information and upload it to the complaint. Right? If you want to go one step further, just depending on how you want to go, you go to bbb.org and file another complaint on the actual business itself. But this is basically how you would remove any negative item off your credit. We want to draft an affidavit using ChatGPT. We want to get notarized online, send it off certified. And that's basically us removing and wiping off all the negative items off our credit. And those are the steps to basically removing the negative items. Right? Getting rid of the negative items is pretty much on the credit. Right? Now, when we start breaking down violations, just give you an example, right? Here we go. So like on this particular file right here, right? The account type, it says one says an open account and two of them says a collection. Can you have an open account that's in collections?
Nope.
No. So that's a violation of what? What did they violate right there? Based upon the laws I gave you guys earlier, what laws did they just violate?
The privacy one, right?
Yep, inaccurate info, correct? Right. So they violated is the identity theft, right? Because they sold the account to a third party without our what? Consent.
Consent.
Yep, they have inaccurate information being reported. That's another violation. And they also violate our right to privacy. So people say, now, why do I want you guys to understand? When you're drafting your affidavit, I don't want you to put all the different laws they broke into one affidavit. Don't put all of them in one affidavit. You need to stand on one law that was violated in that affidavit for that particular account. Why am I saying that, right? Because what happens if it comes back verified? Right? Because y'all might say, oh, I did what you told me to do, come back verified. Now, the reason it might come back verified is because why do you think that when sometimes we dispute, why do you think it comes back verified? Does anybody know
how the system works? It's
a system. Now, does the system make money off of us having bad credit, or if we had what does the system make more money off of? Us having good credit or us having bad credit?
Bad.
Bingo. When you got bad credit, they charge you more interest rates. Can't we agree? Right? When you got bad credit, they can put you in a certain zip code. They can leave you in a certain area. It's almost like redlining, but leveraging credit. See, most of you don't understand. This is another form of what? Slavery. Oh, you're free. Yeah, you're free. But if you got collections and late payments and charge-offs, if you want to live in a certain area, what they'll do? They'll say you don't what? You don't qualify. And because you don't qualify to live in that area, now you have to live in what kind of an area?
Less attractive.
Bingo, where you don't want to live at, where shootings might be happening, where kidnap might be happening, where more legal stuff happens. Let's keep it real. If you want to get a certain type of car and you want to drive around a certain type of car, but you have collections of late payment things on your credit, they'll say that you don't what?
Qualify
for the car. So now what kind of car do you got to get?
A beater.
the hoopty.
Right.
One you don't want.
Think about it, right? So you got to realize that this is bigger than what you think it is. This is a way to keep people out of living successfully. This is a way to keep people living in certain areas, living in certain demographics, riding certain things around, living a life that you really don't want to live. It's bigger than what you think it is. Then they charge you higher interest rates, and when you go to work and you get your check, then they get to bleed you dry. They get to bleed you dry from your money because they're charging you more what?
Interest.
Interest. And you might not understand that. You might not like it. You might not like that. But it's called capitalism. We don't make the system, God, but what we need to understand is how it works so that we can maneuver. Think about it. If you got your driver's license today and you're running late for work, let's say you're running late for work, but you got your driver's license, can't we agree you might run a couple red lights to get to work on time or to get there a little bit faster? But if you see the police, are you going to still run a red light?
No.
Nah.
No. What is that? That's maneuvering the what?
System.
The system. Maneuvering the system. So what am I saying is this: when you guys have bad credit, the reason why you have to take this so serious, guys, is because if you want the ability to drive the cars you want, to have your businesses thrive, to get access to capital, to get access to certain communities, to get access to certain networks, then you have to take fixing your credit seriously. Because it can be the difference in you networking with broke people or networking with rich people. It can be the difference in you, because most people don't know, look, like some people don't really understand it. Like you might not be a person that wants a Lamborghini, I get it, but or a Rolls Royce, I get it, right? But did you know that Rolls Royce have events for people that have their car? Do you even know that if you get access to certain cars, there are certain events and things that you get access to when you get access to a certain kind of people?
Yep.
Right? It's about access. One of the biggest things, like, I saw this TikTok earlier, and it was talking about, like, wealthy people, one of the things they do, and they were talking about, like, Donald Trump. One of the things that Donald Trump's father did was that he gave him access to his relationships, right? So when Donald Trump got to a certain age, right? See, Donald Trump already knew the big developers. He already knew the lenders that were giving the money for the bank. See, he had access to certain what? Relationships.
You are the people you surround yourself with.
Yep. The biggest thing that we can do, right, even for our kids, is that we need to start getting access so that we can get access to our what? To our children. If we can give access to our children, it could change their zip codes. It could change the life they live. It could change the schools they go to. It could change the circles they run around in, right? See, we wonder why some of our kids get in certain troubles and do certain things. It's because of what they're getting what? Access to. So this is how important the credit is, guys. So I just want you guys to see. If they do come back and say verify, use another law and use the same process. Draft another affidavit, use another law, and make sure you keep your foot on their neck every step of the way. Okay, so I talked about 15 USC 1681 C2, but this law gets stuff done fast. It gets it done in 4 business days, and you can use it for bankruptcies, collections, child support. If your student loans have like negative reporting, then I would get them removed. If your student loans don't have negative reporting, then I would keep them on there. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of get into the funding process, right? And kind of talk about structuring your LLC properly. So one of the biggest things about next steps is we've got to structure LLC, right? Your EIN you can get for free. You can go to irs.gov and get an EIN. free, right? When you structure your LLC, the biggest thing about your LLC is you want to make sure it's not in a risky industry, right? What are some risky industries? Real estate, trucking, those are like the biggest risky industries
Laundromat.
to do, right? Finance, right? Things dealing with Bitcoin and things of that sort. So you want to make sure you don't be in a risky industry, right? Write these down. There's 3 industries that you want to operate in or that can really maximize your funding. One being consulting, the other one being e-commerce, and then the other one being marketing. Those are the 3 industries that gives you the most amount of funding when it comes to your business: consulting, marketing, and e-commerce. Okay. Now, once we set up your company, let's say you could do my company is SBS Global, right? Simple, right? You can have enterprises, you can have global, solutions, things like that. Those are kind of the buzzwords that you want to kind of stay in: solutions, global, enterprises, incorporated, things of that sort, right? You want to kind of stay in those lanes where it doesn't really give a leeway to what your industry or what your business does. Right? For your business phone number, everybody should make sure they get a 1-800 number for your business. You should have a 1-800. It can be 188, 1-800, but make sure you actually set up a business phone number for your business, guys. Don't use a cell phone number. Don't use a home phone number. Get a business phone number. And you can go to Ring Central. Ring Central will help you set up a business phone number. And just make sure you tell them that you want to get a 1-800 or 188 type of number. Right? For your business email should be set up as @yourcompany.com. So that's if it's info@yourcompany.com, right? It could be info, it could be support@yourcompany.com. So make sure that you set up a business email for your business, right? One website that you can go to is called I'll drop it in the chat. Right? It's ins.com. What about incorporating your name? You can do that as well, right? ins.com will give you a business email for $1 a month. $1 a month, your business email, you'll get a business email, $1 a month. Business phone number, go to Ring Central. For your physical address, I like Regis. You can use Regis, REGUS, or Opus Virtual Offices. Regis or Opus Virtual Offices.
Hey, what was that 1-800 for your Ring Central?
Yep,
Business email. Yeah, what was the email for that?
It's not an email for that. That's Central.
The website
is where you get your business phone number. ins.com is where you get your business email, and it's also in the chat.
Okay. All right.
Can you drop the other information in the chat, please?
Yeah, everything's in there. Ring Central's in there. ins.com's there. It's all in the chat, guys. Right? And then, like I said, for your business address, right, you can use Opus Virtual Offices. Opus, OPUS, Virtual Offices, or Regis. So Regis. That's for your business address. Ring Central's for the business phone number. If you need help setting up your LLC, you can go to Inc. Authority. Inc. Authority will help set up the LLC.
What about Taylor Brand?
Fine. I'm just giving y'all stuff. Like, you don't gotta do exactly what I'm saying. I'm just giving y'all different things. But Telebrands works as well.
Yeah,
what's the setup cost? Really, it just
Hey,
depends on
Terrell.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt real quick. Most states you can go into your Secretary of State's office and you can set up a LLC really easily. It took me on the 3 that I've got set up less than 15 minutes on my Secretary of State's office, and it only cost me like $250.
There you go. Another. I'm just giving options, guys. You don't have to do. You know what I mean? All my job is to do is give you guys different options, things that I know actually works. If that worked for you, great, no problem. And
You're doing a great job, brother. I appreciate you.
Oh, for sure, right? So now, once we got our structure set up. So once everything I just gave you guys in terms of structure is set up, right? The biggest thing you got to understand is that when you want to go after business funding, you have to have what is called comparable credit. Comparable credit means that on the personal credit side, you have to have larger lines of credit. Right? Too many people want to get business funding, but on their personal credit, they don't have larger lines of credit. So one play that you can really run through is something called LightStream. Okay, LightStream, what we teach, I mean, one of the things that we teach is that you can go after an auto loan and not even buy the car. Right? And not even buy the car. Now, the thing about LightStream is that you have to have good credit. I'll show you guys. You have to have good credit. If you want good credit, looks like the picture that you guys was a screenshot earlier when I first started. As you see, to qualify, you have to have good credit. Okay. Now, if you don't buy the car, the reason why this is one of the reasons why this is a play that I give people is because you want to have access to larger lines of capital, but you want to understand that when you want to go for business funding, they need to see on the personal credit that you've had access to larger lines of credit and you know exactly what you're doing with it. You know how to pay them back. You know how to have on-time payments, right? So this would be an individual application. Primary loan purpose, you could use auto purchase from individual. How'd you hear about this? You heard about it online. You put your zip code in. Okay. For this, I would do anywhere from 35 to 50,000. So let's just keep it at 45,000 for now. If you want to do 72 months, that's cool. I would do auto pay because auto pay means you're going to get better interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're gonna put your now. This is on a personal side, guys. So you're gonna do your first name, your last name, your email, your phone number, right? Your email, your email address, your home address, right? Okay, phone number, as you can see, social, date of birth. Now, when it says time and current address, make sure you always put 6 years or more or longer at your time and current address. Does anybody know why do we want to put 6 years or more?
Stability.
Bingo. Stability. Now, if you have a mortgage already on your credit, put own. If you don't have a mortgage, put rent. That's simple, but make sure you do 6 years or more, right? You put your social, your date of birth, your last, your driver's license, you put United States here. Work status, right? Always put employed by other. Too many people fill out applications. You're doing self-employed, things like that. You want to do employed by other. Right? For your occupation description, I like to use upper level management positions. Why do you think it's best to use an upper level management position?
More access to capital.
Your responsibility on making payments.
No, not necessarily responsibility, but what usually happens when people have upper level management positions? What happens financially?
More money.
They make more money.
Managing.
They usually make more money. So you always want to usually put an upper level management position here. You put now, if you have a business and you can use employed by your business, you can do that. Or take the job that you work in now, put that company down, but just make sure you use an upper level management position, even if that's not where you at right now, right? You put your company address. Now, when it says time of current company, what do you think we should put for time of current company?
6 years or more.
Bingo, 6 years or more. Why? What does that also show?
It's going to give us stability.
Bingo, show stability, right? For your annual salary, do anything from 97,000 minimum to 147,000, unless you make more than that. 97,000 minimum, 147,000 maximum, unless you make more than that and you can prove it.
So verify will be like bank statements, if I'm correct.
If you can prove that, but 9 times out of 10, if you're in that range, they're not going to ask you the bank statements. You know what I mean? That's why you that range.
That part.
Yeah, he's trying to give you the plays. Just the plays right here.
Yeah, it's just a range. So I would stick to 97 to 147. Usually within that range, they're not going to really ask you for bank statements. If you're going after, and write this down because this is very important. If you're going after American Express personal credit card or Discover personal credit card, do not do that range. The max you
want
put
the American Express
or Discover, the max you put in American Express or Discover is 75,000. Because American Express or Discover, they are prone to asking you for tax returns and bank statements and things of that nature. So if you are right now, if you're doing an American Express or Discover credit card application, right, do not put more than 75,000. But for any other application, right, you want to do 97,000 to 147,000.
What do we pitch for? How much is our rent a month?
Bingo. I would do anything from 900 to 1,100. If you're renting. If you have a mortgage, then put whatever your mortgage is because they're going to see it on your credit report anyway. And this is basically how you would fill this out. The reason that you're doing this though is so that you can get higher limits on your personal side, right? Higher
Right.
limits on the personal side, so that when you go for the business side, then you can also you can show the banks that you qualify, right? Now, if you're doing a business application, right? If you're doing a business application, here we go. So, the biggest thing about this is that it's really about going after 0% interest. I specialize in showing people how we want to make sure we go for 0% interest business credit cards, right? So with Chase, what you really want to do, and I'm just giving an example, right? How you fill this out. Now, what you're going to notice is that you're going to get $750 cash back bonus after you spend $6,000 in purchases. If you're going to spend $6,000 anyway, it makes sense to get what? $750 back, right? You're going to also get what? 1.5%, right?
Cash back
You're also
reward.
going to get 1.5% cash back, and you're going to get 0% interest for the next 12 months. Okay? Now, so when we're going through this, whenever you're doing a business credit card application, you want to make sure that you don't put owner. Okay, I personally like to do you can do president, you can do vice president, vice president, you could do treasurer. You know what I mean? For this, I like to do president or vice president. So let's just do vice president for now. You're gonna put your first name, your last name, your date of birth, your mom's maiden name. You're gonna put your actual SSN number. You're gonna put your actual home address, your zip code, city, state, email, phone number. And what are we gonna put for total gross annual amount?
97,000.
Right? Minimum, or you can go up to 147, right? Bingo. All right, so we're gonna come down. We have an LLC. Let's say we have an LLC, right? Your business legal name, you put your legal name there for the business, right? You put your desired name on the card. Does your business use a DBA? For now, let's just say no. Let's say no, right? For your EIN, right? Right, you're gonna put our EIN number. Is your business physical address the same as your personal address? What do we want to put for this?
No.
No, bingo, right? No, because we should have what kind of address for our business?
Virtual.
Right? Or a business address, a brick and mortar address, right? So you put street address, whatever that is for your business. Put the
I mean,
zip
also can it be like a PO box?
No, never use a PO box for your business, bro.
Okay.
Right? Zip code, city, state, number of employees. I would do 1 to 4 employees, depending on what your business is at. Business phone number. What kind of business phone number should we have?
Business number.
1-800, 188.
Yeah, 1-800-188, right? You're gonna put your established date for your business, right? Whenever your business is established. For annual business revenue, right? You want to make sure you do 350,000 or more. 350,000 or more for your business, for your annual business revenue. Okay, now usually when I do business credit card applications, I'm doing anywhere from 550 to 750. That's the range I like to be in. Right? 550,000 to 750,000. For your annual business revenue. And make sure you don't get that confused with your gross annual income for your personal, and then for your annual business revenue. It's two separate things. People always ask, are they gonna, Mr. Brown, are they gonna want to see any bank statements? No, it's called a projected revenue. They're asking you, what do you project to do for the year? And if they're gonna ask me what I project to do for the year, I'm gonna tell them it's gonna be an up year, and we ain't never looking back. I don't know who with me.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
right? So, you know what I mean? Nothing less than 350,000. Nothing less than 350,000. But, if it was me, I'd do anything from 550 to 750. Right? Business category. This is very important because you want to make sure you get a proper, what is called NAICS number. Your NAICS number is pretty much what industry that your business is going to be classified in. And you want to make sure you're classified in the industry that allows for maximum amount of funding. So I'm going to give you guys a cheat code today.
What is that? NAICS first.
Yep.
Okay.
It's right here, 541613. NAICS code. It pops up right there automatically. And you want to make sure that this is why I told you guys to be in marketing, right? Or consulting, because you want to make sure that your NAICS code is not in a risky industry. It's very important. If I did something with real estate, it would show up a different NAICS code, which would limit the type of funding that I can get. If I'm in trucking, it's going to be a different NAICS code, which is going to limit the funding that I can get. Okay. And for your estimated monthly spend, I would do anything from 15 to 30,000. All right. Percent of ownership. Usually, you know, if you own the business is 100%, if you have bad credit, if you're someone who has bad credit, right? Another hack is that you can find what is called a credit investor. So you can find a credit investor. What a credit investor is someone who basically already has good credit, right? What you would do is you would basically have them own a percentage of the business. And then if they own a percentage of the business, anything 25% or more, you can have them fill out the top part of this, right? Have them fill out the top part of this.
Is this kind of like a trade line?
No,
Or like a franchise.
no, it's just somebody, listen to my words carefully. A credit investor, right? Think about it. If I had somebody that invests into my business and let's say it wasn't a credit, what kind of, usually most investors are investing what?
Marketing.
Capital. No,
Cash.
capital. There you go, capital. Somebody said it. I'm not trying to confuse y'all. Make sure y'all kind of keep it simple, right? So most investors, when they invest into a business, they're investing what?
Capital.
Cash.
Cash, right? So a cash investor. If we're using a credit investor, that means that we're leveraging someone else's what? Ability to get access to what? Credit. And allowing them to invest into our what?
Business.
To our business, right? So what I'm basically saying is that you would find someone who has good credit already. If you have bad credit, you got bad credit, but okay, you find a person who has good credit, you would then leverage them as the person who would, because this is all what is called a personal guarantee. So what they're going to do is they're going to pull your personal credit to make sure that you can qualify, right, for the business credit. Right? The biggest thing is that once you qualify, though, none of these cards are going to report to your personal credit. So these cards don't report. You're going to get approved 50,000, 75,000, 100,000, but they're not going to report to your personal credit at all. So one of the things that you want to do is, I'm just saying, if you have bad credit, and in the meanwhile of you fixing your credit, you can have a credit investor, someone who you say owns 25 or 30 or 40% of your business, and you allow them to do the application. When they get approved for the credit card, what you would have to do is, if you want to get access to the credit as well, let's say you want to have access to the credit as well, then you would set yourself up as an employee of the business. And this is how you would get access to the credit. So imagine getting someone who has good credit. They fill out the application. Y'all get approved for 50,000. Bing. You add yourself as an employee, and now you have access to that what? Credit.
50,000.
And that's pretty much how you guys fill out this application. Did everybody got that? Y'all writing this? Y'all with me? I know.
Got it, man. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Y'all with me? Somebody drop a 1 in the chat. Who's still here? Somebody drop a 1. I just need to see who's still with me. Who following?
Quick question. When you're talking about good credit, what is the range for like personal good?
I put that up earlier, right? So what you guys got to understand that I showed you guys earlier what that looks like. Take this screenshot. This is what good credit needs to look like. It's not about a score. It's really about the health of the actual report. Take this screenshot if you're on the call right now, because this is what your report needs to look like. The number one thing you have to see is it says 0 derogatory marks. There's no collections, no charge-offs, no bankruptcies, no late payments, no child support. Nothing negative needs to be on the credit if you want to access the type of funding and capital I'm talking about. Gloria, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Don't you also need one address and one name, correct name?
Yeah, one address, one correct name for sure. Those are the things that right? So that's just how you fill out in terms of your business credit card. Now, if you want to be able to do what is called credit stacking, how do we want to make sure that we get access to multiple? I say I'm gonna show you guys how to get 4 credit cards with 1 inquiry, right? Okay, so boom, this is the play on that. So we got to understand what banks pull from what reporting agencies, whether a bank pulls from Equifax or TransUnion or Experian, and this is basically how we set that up. So we know that Bank of America is a bank that pulls from Experian, right? Now they have a rule, and write this rule down. It's called the 2, 3, 4 rule. You can get 2 credit cards in your first 3 months. You can get 3 credit cards your first 12 months, and you can get 4 credit cards in total from Bank of America.
2, 3, 4 roll.
Yep. 2 your first 3 months, 3 your first 12 months, 4 in total. Okay. So if I don't have any Bank of America credit cards, the way that I'm going to basically do it is I'm going to start with the small business. I can do a small business credit card. Right. And I'm also going to do a personal credit card. Right? You can get a cash rewards for your business and a cash rewards for the personal. Now check this out. Right? So boom, check this out. So now what happens is for both of these credit cards, I can get 1.5% cash back. It's also telling me that I can get a $300 online statement credit in my first 3,000 purchases, and I'm going to get 0% for my first 9 months for the business card. For the personal, I can get 0% for the first 15 months. Who's okay with getting 2 credit cards in one day, and you get 0% in total for 24 months?
I like it.
Like that, yeah.
Okay. Now, both of them pull from Experian. Truist is going to pull from Equifax.
Yeah,
So now I'm going to start this application. So I got the Bank of America. I got 2 Bank of America cards up, right? Got the Truist up, right? And mind you, so Bank of America pulls from Experian, Truist pulls from Equifax. I got one more reporting agency I can pull from. Which one is that?
TransUnion.
TransUnion, right? Okay. TransUnion, I can go for the GM business card. I get 0% interest for the first 9 months, right? So now, if I'm walking through these applications, how many applications do I have up right now?
2, 3.
3.
Y'all sure?
Four.
Yeah.
4 applications, right? 1 Bank of America business card, 1 Bank of America what?
Personal.
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 Truist what?
Truist.
Right? Marcus
Oh,
Goldman Sachs
okay.
what?
Sure.
Business. So I got 4 credit card applications. What do I want to do to ensure that I get approved for all 4 of these at the same damn time? See if y'all can figure that out. I want
Make
to
sure
get
your credit is clean.
I mean, of course, we
Everything.
know about that. Credit is A1. We know what our credit needs to look like. Now we're ready for the funding, right? What do I want to do to make sure I get all 4 at the same time?
Same time application.
Right? So I'm
Same
going to basically
information.
apply. I'm going to basically go in. I'm going to put all my information in, but I'm not going to what?
Submit.
I'm not going to, right? I'm going to go over to this one. Put all my information, then I'm not going to what?
Submit.
Bingo. I'm going to come down, do the same thing with Truist, right? Put all my information in, but I'm not going to submit.
Submit.
Right? And I'm going to come here and do the same thing. Now, once I got all my information filled out on all 4, what do I want to do to get approved at the same time?
Submit them all at the same time.
Bingo. That's 4 credit cards on how many inquiries?
It'd be one, right?
3, isn't it?
One
3.
inquiry. One
3.
on Equifax.
One
One on each
Equifax,
of them, I
one
guess.
TransUnion, and one's Experian.
Bingo.
So that would all that would count as one inquiry?
One on TransUnion, one on Equifax, one on Experian. That's one across the board.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
sweet.
Mhm.
4 cards, one inquiry across the board. How many more cards can I go for if I set up another sequence like that? Whatever
Four.
banks I go for. I can go for American Express. I can go for FNBO, right? I can go for Apple. I can go for so many other banks, just understanding who pulls from what. What reporting agency? Remember, I told you guys the secret lenders list is going to break down who pulls from who.
Nice.
So 234 rule, is that was just with Bank of America?
Just
How
with
do you
Bank of
find this
America.
information? Okay.
Just with Bank of
And is
America.
this
Chase,
all right.
Chase has a rule called 524, where you can't have 5 brand new accounts open within the last 24 months. See, each of these banks have different rules that are attached to them, but you just got to understand these are things that they will not teach you in school. This is why
Right.
I'm basically breaking it down for you right now.
Okay. Because this is a lot of information I didn't know.
Right?
Okay, I'm trying to jot it down.
Right? So, and somebody said, where's the 4 credit card? Here it is right here. One Bank of America personal, Business Bank of America, Personal Bank of America. Okay. Truist, Marcus Goldman Sachs, 4 credit cards, 1 inquiry across the board.
Man, you're
So
a
the
wealth of
Marcus
knowledge.
Goldman Sachs, is that
Marcus by Goldman Sachs, GM.
Right.
Yeah, it's look, it's a lot of credit cards y'all don't even know about, man. Y'all ain't, it's credit cards y'all ain't never.
No.
I see.
Okay. Now they have a different hack when it comes to credit unions. See, when it comes to credit unions, your inquiry is good anywhere from 30 to 60 days. Right? 30 to 60 days. So check this out. You can go to a credit union today, do an inquiry today, get approved today, and as long as you do another inquiry within 30 days, they're going to use your same inquiry from today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that mean? That means that, see, the difference with banks is every time, like Barclays, right? Barclays pulls from TransUnion, but you can only go for 1 card every day. So every day that you do a card, they're going to give you another what?
Another
Inquiry.
hit on your
Another inquiry.
Another inquiry. Yeah, follow me, man. Y'all gotta stay with me. Hopefully I ain't talking too fast, or y'all just not listening slow. I'm messing with you, right? But they're going to
I
give you
just
an
ain't right that
inquiry.
fast.
But with the credit unions, I can go to a credit union, do an inquiry today, right? I can get approved for a loan today. If I want to get another credit card, I can go back to them a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. But are they going to pull my credit again?
No.
They're going to use the same inquiry from the one I did before.
Okay.
So make sure you take this screenshot, because these are some of the credit unions that we tapped into, and these are where they pull from. Okay, and this is why you got to understand, when you're doing different credit cards, when you want to get access to multiple credit cards at the same time, that is called credit stacking. But when we're dealing with credit unions, because your inquiry is good for 30 to 60 days, this is a credit union hack. That's why the credit union hack is different from the credit stacking. Right? Now, a lot of times people say, okay, well, with credit unions, don't you got to get access, or don't you got to have special access? That's why you can go to the Financial Fitness Organization. You can join this for $8 a month. I mean, $8 for the year, and you'll get access to tons of different credit unions just by joining the Financial Fitness Association for $8 for the year. Y'all following?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Okay. Now, certain banks they require you to have 2 years in business. So I'll give an example. This is also the secret lenders list that's inside the mentorship, right? Certain banks, like M&T, you can get $100,000 no-doc loan, right? Up to $50,000 on a business credit card, but you got to be in business for how long? It says 2 years, right? It says 2 years. So sometime when you want to get larger loans, lines of credit, you have to be in business for 2 years. The way you can circumvent that. Now, this doesn't mean that you can have bad credit, but it's a way that you can circumvent that is by basically getting what is called a shelf corporation.
Of what corporation?
So where do you find self corporations?
This website right here, my guy.
Okay.
WyomingCompany.com.
Bruh.
So now an A Shelf Corporation, now the thing about an A Shelf Corporation is that this is a company that has been started, but it doesn't have an EIN number 9 times out of 10. They don't have a business address. They haven't done any business at all, but they just started the company and it has an older start date. When you want to make sure the business is 2 years or older, right? So let's say right now is we're in 24. So we still would need to make sure that okay. So now when you're buying a shelf corporation, you still have to make sure that it is not in a risky what?
Risky market.
Right? Or risky industry, correct? So we still got to make sure that it's not in a risky industry. So we don't want to buy business real estate group. What is that? A risky industry. Right? So, and they have ones in different states. So
Ain't there like three main states that you can set up your LLC, and they want to keep out your public information.
yeah, you can do like New Mexico, Wyoming.
Yeah, so yeah, Nebraska, Wyoming, Delaware, or something like that.
Yeah, Delaware as well. Yep. So yeah, we just want to find one that's not in a risky industry. So let me see. Let's just click Delaware just for the sake of purposes. All right, so this is like $4,000, but Beacon Marketing Analysis, just give an example, right? Or we could do Universal Marketing Solutions. Why? Because it's in a marketing industry, right? Not risky, right? It has over 2 years in age, right? So when you purchase this, if you decide to purchase this, what happens is you would get an EIN number attached to it. You would still get a brick and mortar address, a business phone number, a business email, and you still want to make sure that you list it in listyourself.net. Okay, so this is giving you options that if you want to, because if write this down, if you want to qualify for business credit cards, you can be in a business for a day, 4 days, a month, 6 months. That's for business credit cards. If you want to get access to lines of credit or no-doc loans, you have to be in business for 2 years or longer. And I'm talking about there are some exceptions to the rule, right? Like Wells Fargo has a business line of credit that you can get, but it's only up to 25,000 if you've been in business less than 2 years. If you've been in business for more than 2 years, it goes up to like 50,000, right? So there are some exceptions to the rule, but I'm talking about general thumb rule across the board is that you have to be in business for 2 years to get access to a business line of credit or a no-doc loan.
When you purchase these businesses, how you got to look for the $350,000 revenue on it?
So you still want to say this? Everything I said earlier still applies. My bad. Everything I said earlier still applies. So you still want to say that you made 350,000 or more for the revenue. They're still not going to ask you for bank statements, tax returns, any of that stuff as well. Okay, so right, and another thing that you can also do is you can also turn your company, your current business into what is called a foreign entity. What a foreign entity just means is that you can establish your business in multiple different states. The reason why you would want to set it up as a foreign entity as well is because certain states only lend, or certain banks, certain credit unions only lend within that state. So you have like certain states that have local, they have regional banks and things like that will only lend within that current state. Right. So one thing that you can also do is you can also go to any Secretary of State and you can establish your business as a foreign entity, which means that you can set it up in another state. And what you would need in that state. So let's say you already have your LLC, everything is set up, and like let's say it's set up in California. I'm just using that for an example. But you want to get access to capital in Ohio, you would go to Ohio Secretary of State website, you would set up the LLC, and you would just have to get what is called a registered agent and a business address, a registered agent and a business address. And then that means that now you can conduct business within that state. What that also means is that in Ohio, you can now qualify for loans, lines of credit, and things of that sort in that particular state from their local and regional banks.
What is the registered agent?
A registered agent is someone that pretty much that can accept mail on behalf of your business and that can basically be a point of contact for the business in that particular state. Okay, so basically that's pretty much everything that I want to kind of teach you guys tonight in terms of, everything that I want to break down.
I have a question.
Sure, Kempy.
You said, what was that? You said register it as
Register agent.
I got you. I'm gonna show you right now. I got you.
a foreign entity.
Yep, right here, number 2. Right, and really what that just means is that, like, you would take your business, if it's called, let's say your business is Kenthony Solutions LLC, you would just register in a different state outside the one it's already registered in. So it would be Kenthony LLC, but you would register in a different state, and that's what makes it foreign. The reason you're doing that is so you can qualify for loans and lines of credit in that particular state from the local and regional banks that's in that state. Right? So now, who drew that? Right? So, okay, so now, just so you guys understand, that's basically like that. Number 1, I showed you how to structure your report, right? So we understand how to structure a report. I gave you the methods of moving everything fast. I also showed you how to structure your actual business, right? How to get up to 500,000, how to do your applications, right? How to get access to the 0% business funding, the no-doc loans, lines of credit, right? That's all been broken down, right? So essentially, we do have a mentorship program where what happens is if you want to basically work with me personally, which is up to you, right? I'm going to basically invite you to ability to work with me within our How to Legally Rob the Bank's mentorship. Right. So what happens is that we're going to help you kind of remove and get rid of the negative items on your credit. We're going to also help you structure your business if need be so that you can qualify for the actual funding. This is everything that comes along with that. So what happens is now you get actual one-on-one support where we get a chance to work together one-on-one. You're going to get access to our private community. We're going to do all the credit repair for you. We're going to give you guidance on not only how to structure your credit report, but also how to structure your business so that you can qualify for the funding that you need. And then we also get access to our secret lenders list that gives you the different banks and reporting and who they pull from, the breakdown about, like whether they do personal, whether they do business, whether they do both. You also get access to the community development financial institutions, right? That also allow to get funding for the community and things of that nature. And you also get access to all of my consumer law secret ebooks that breaks down how to structure your trust, all that kind of stuff when it comes to the structuring your trust. And different things that goes into like the consumer law side, right? And also getting access to the secret lenders list, like I said, that breaks down how to get access to the 0% interest business funding, right? So when it comes to pricing, right? When it comes to price, see, price is only an issue if value is absent. You know, if I was showing you how to get over 100,000 in capital, which we've done multiple times, would anybody pay 10 grand to get over 100 grand? Yes, but that's not the investment, right? Would you pay 5 grand to get access to over 100 grand? For sure, but that's also not the investment. Would you pay 3 grand to get access to over 100,000 in funding, to get access to me? For sure. But for the action takers, what we have in place right now is that it's only $1,000 for you to basically tap into the mentorship. That means you're getting a $497 discount on the actual mentorship for anybody who wants to take action right away, that wants to move into action, work with me right away, and get access not only to my mind, but access to the different things I broke down today, but more in depth, right? And then we also do a call every Monday. So every Monday we do a call at 8:00 p.m. where not only do we go into making sure that you guys are structured for it when it comes to credit business funding, but also structuring your businesses so that you can be profitable in business. So we look at scaling your business. You get access to my mind, how I think of business, how I market, different things of that sort, to make sure not only are you getting access to funding, but you're also getting access to build a profitable business so you can basically get multiple 6 figures this year. See, being a part of the mafia is positioning you to get multiple 6 figures this year, but what has to happen is that most people need coaching and need guidance on how to do it. See, if you already knew how to make a 6-figure income, multiple 6-figure income, how to structure your business, how to get access to the capital, you wouldn't be on a call, you wouldn't need me, right? But if you're someone who really wants to invest in themselves and wants to be a part of what we have going on, we call it the SBS Mafia. Because what the mafia is everybody plays a role, right? And getting us as a collective, as a unit, to that next level. And so essentially, this is basically where we get a chance to work together. Now, I'm not just someone that's going to show you, hey, you know, just money, right? Because, hey, look, I'm going to show you a highlight where we've had thousands of people tap in and get access to capital, right? We've funded small businesses just this year alone, millions of dollars in capital. Let me show you. Right? We've also deleted millions of dollars when it comes to accounts, millions of dollars. So funded over $1 million in capital just this year already by the month of May. We've also gotten tons of deletions and things of that nature as well, right? So this is one of my clients, and this is all this year. So this highlight just this year. If you see 19 weeks ago, she got a conditional offer, which was approved, $45,000 for PNC. She got $20,000 on a business line of credit. She also got $25,000 on a business credit, business options card, $45,000, right? Another $11,000 was also funded just this year. Okay, swap 61 items off of someone's credit, right? And this is for people that want to take action. So I'm just going to show you, right? We got bankruptcies deleted. Okay, bankruptcies was deleted. What's the date on it? January 14, 2024.
What about if you're in a debt relief program?
Yeah, I would probably get out of debt relief, because they're probably most likely going to have you where you're not paying the debt. And when you're not paying the debt, they're going to wait until, you know, you get multiple late payments and things like that. So I don't really recommend those at all. Right?
All right, appreciate it.
Over 700 plus credit score. As you can see, 55,000 was funded, Navy Federal, 8% interest. Okay, 15 items more deleted, 700 plus credit scores, 73 items deleted on this one file, right? A bunch of deletions, right? Inquiry was deleted, right? Another 16 items deleted. And I'm just showing you results on both ends. 12 items deleted. Okay, this is a $69,000 check dated. Look. Right? January this year. Somebody got $69,000 in funding. You know, someone else who was ready for funding. And this is basically just showing you guys results, because results is just the name of the game. Everybody here wants results. Everybody, you know, great class, right? But hey, if I'm going to work with you as a mentor, how do I know you're getting things done? Hey, because we have people that have over 800 credit scores. Right? 30 items deleted. 27 items deleted. This is a testimony from one of my other mentees. He tapped into my higher program.
Mr. Brown's mentorship program. I was driving around for DoorDash 70 hours a week, about 10 hours a day. I was making like $4,000 to $5,000 every single month. But I know I needed a mentor because I wanted to make money online. So I logged in with Chief SBS, and he helped me scale my business online to the point where now I make every single week what I used to make in a month. And last month I made $25,000. So what I would suggest is to lock in with Mr. Brown's program, and he's going to give you all the systems, all the information that you need to completely change your financial situation.
Bingo, right? Real mentors. We got this person got $72,000 funded January this year. If anybody's adding up the funding, you're gonna see a lot of it, right? 45 items deleted. Bankruptcy is deleted again. This is a different bankruptcy. February 22nd, 2024. 31 items deleted. Someone got $75,000 with American Express, pay over time limit. 31,000 was my guy, Thomas. Thomas got 289,000 in funding. You know, so these are just results that you guys can see. 45,000 was funded with Navy Federal. You can see me on the screen at the bottom of the screen as I walk the customer through it. You know, 700 plus credit score as well, 38 items deleted. Mentee had went up 132 points. I had a 700 plus credit score just by tapping in right away. As you can see, 700 plus credit scores, 30 plus items deleted, right? Over 100,000 in funding, 40,000 with Lightstream. I showed you guys that play. 45,500 with Navy Federal. Another 37,000 approved. You know, what we do is we get approvals and we get bankruptcy deleted all the time. March, this is a March bankruptcy deleted. Another 29,000 was approved. Another 50,000 with Chase. 0% interest for 12 months. Another 40,000 was loan. You know, so what I'm showing you, oh, somebody actually wanted to get an auto loan. Got a brand new Mercedes-Benz, $74,000 approved. 700 plus credit scores, we get deletions as well. And so I'm just showing you results because at the end of the day, if you want to tap in and work further with me, we get results. I mentorship my team, 58,500 funded with Navy Federal, approved. Right? Oh, a pre-qualification for 25,000 for a line of credit, personal or credit card, and they got a pre-qualified for a $100,000 vehicle. That's a $125,000 pre-qualification. Right? So for those of you who really want to invest in yourself, who really want to move forward, just understand that we get results. And that's the thing about this. Right?
How do we tap into the mentorship?
Right? I think Kim's gonna most likely drop the link. It's already in the chat.
Hello, I got a question.
Sure.
All right, somebody joined your mentorship after you helped them fix their credit. I know it was showing like 10 days or so. How soon have you seen someone get approved for funding after fixing their credit?
Yeah, if I just gave you a blank answer, I'd be lying to you. Everybody's situation is different.
I'm saying, how soon have you dealt with like in the past?
Everybody's different. That's what I'm saying. Everybody that's joined the mentorship is different situations. Some people joined right away and they was able to get access to funding. Some people, we had to fix their credit, remove negative items. We had to add trade lines, certain things we had to do, and then they were able to get access to credit. So everybody's situation is different. There's no one size fit all. The reason that you're going to get access to my team and the one-on-one is because the one-to-one is basically where we come together as well, looking directly at your situation, the diagram, exactly what needs to be done.
Okay.
Right? But even this person right here, he got approved for 30,000, right? I deleted some of his items in his credit for sure. And then he also just got approved for 30,000 with Chase, right? This person got approved for 45,000, right? This person right here got approved for 45,000. He had negative items that were working on his credit. His sister had A1 credit, so we used his sister as a credit investor. We got her funded. So everybody's situation, I promise you, is different. This client right here, he didn't have any negative items on his credit, and he got approved for a $93,000 home equity line of credit. So really, it's just tapping in depending on what your situation is, which I don't know. So I just didn't want to lie to you and give you some type of timeline or help have you expect something that wasn't true for your direct situation, right? I'm not really with that. But what I am with is whatever everybody's situation is, we can lock in together and help you get to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So yes, the link is also in the chat for anybody who's ready to move forward, take action. Right? And yeah, it's in the chat. Full payment plan right here. You just got to go to the chat. 1K, only 1K to get access to someone who's already funded over millions of dollars already this year in May. by the month of May, we just getting started. We haven't gotten to the end of the year. I think by the end of the year, we'll fund somewhere around $3 to $4 million this year. Part of that could be you, or some people just gonna watch, but it will happen for sure. We already did $1 million so far.
What if you don't have the 1K right now? Is that something that is still available like in 2 weeks?
Yeah, if you hey, success loves speed. If I was you, I would do it right away. If money is an issue, that would be another reason why I would personally, if it was me, I would get started immediately right away. But we also have payment plans for people as well. If you're someone needs a payment plan, what happens with the payment plan is that instead of you paying the only 1K, it goes to the original price, which was $14.97. And so we have payment plans that allows you to do that, but it basically would be it would turn to $14.97, not the 1K. Right, but whatever it looks like for you, whatever that looks like for you, if it was me and I was you and I needed help, and I know I needed help creating financial literacy and creating this journey of wealth, I would definitely tap in and make sure I have a coach. I've never seen anybody get to the NBA and didn't have coaching along the way. Too many of us as adults, we stop getting coaching along the way and we try to do it on our own. And if you could do it on your own, you would already be there.
Yeah.
Right? It's also not microwave, right? Like I see people go to work willing to go to work 30, 40 years, but when it comes to creating generational wealth, people want to lock in for a year, don't want to lock in for 2 years, don't want to lock in. What you got to understand about this entire process, guys, is that we talk about putting you in a position, right? We talk about putting you in a position to get access to $500,000 in funding, $250,000 in funding. Think about going to work, what it would take you to have $250,000 or $500,000 at one time. Okay, they say they don't see the link. I'll drop it right now. Yeah. Yep. Dustin, I'm gonna send directly to you. And this is also Q&A time, guys, for anybody who has Q&A or has questions.
I appreciate your time this evening, man. I'm gonna get on that.
Let's do it.
And so I am one of those people that actually did the debt consolidation program. So
yeah, you sound low. Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said I am one of the people that actually did the debt consolidation program.
Okay.
Where you had to like miss payments. And I'm just trying to decide on if this should be something that I do or my husband do. My credit got shot up really bad and I'm still making payments. It's increasing, but not as like fast as it should. So is that something that you could help me with, or?
Yeah, I mean, if you have late payments and they got charged off and sent to collections, we got to delete all the negative items. So yeah, I would tell you definitely tap in to get all that negative items off your credit, and then we just got to rebuild it, which it can be, but you got to get the negative items off the credit, guys. Anytime you want to get access to capital, banks are going to look at, like, think about it, right? It would be like if I came to you and I want to get a loan, but you knew that everybody in our neighborhood, I didn't pay them back. You gonna loan me some more money? You gonna loan me money too?
Right. One thing I had invested in Chime credit card, and I had, when I was working, I was putting my money in my Chime credit card, and then next thing you know, like, while I kept using my credit card, every time I got gas, whatever, going to work, whatever, but it shot my credit score up to like 700 in no time.
Congratulations, bro. I would tell you to get a real bank account, bro. Get off a Chime.
Yeah.
Get a real bank account, bro.
Yeah.
I have a question. So what if like you have a credit card that was approaching charge off, so they called you and you guys kind of work out a little payment plan? Like, will that remain on your credit after you do the credit sweep, or?
Yeah, well, it depends. If it's still an open account, then we would want to get the late payments off. If you have late payments or something of that sort, we want to get the late payments off. If that kind of makes sense. But anytime you set up a payment arrangement, really the goal with the payment arrangement is making sure you get caught up like within that same month if you can, because really what happens is a lot of times people set up payment arrangements, but they won't tell you that you'll still be late. So they'll still mark you 30 days late, 60 days late. So sometimes it's best to get caught up if you can right away. If not, sometimes.
Yeah, because sometimes when you make the payments, it still shows a late fee on the statement. I'm like, what's the late fee coming from? And they're still giving you a late fee even though you're making the payments.
Right. So that's what I was gonna say. Sometimes if you feel like you're too far behind, too far back, the best thing that you could do is sometimes it's kind of close the account, and then we can get it off the account. I mean, get off the credit and start over. But I would say if you can get caught up within the same month and you're not continuing to get late payments on, then that's the best. Then that's good. But it's not good to keep getting late payments on the same account, because basically when we going in and sweeping and removing stuff, like it's not going to build your credit up because you're still getting knocked down with 30-day lates and things of that sort.
Okay.
And one thing for me, I had just got a letter, right? And this been holding me back for like 20 years. 45 grand I owe, like, in student loans. And the thing about it, they wouldn't accept it because my father at the time, he's no longer here, but he was a dishonorably charged army, so really I had qualified to go to school for free. And said he did something that I found out later on with the student loans, and that was never applied to my school. But at the same token, like I said, I would have went to school for free based on him, being in the army and being discharged, honorably discharged. So, and I just got that letter in the mail saying that my student loans have been forgiven. That's like $45,000.
Congratulations. Congratulations, bro.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but all the links in the chat for anybody who had a question. Gloria, link is there. Victoria, you're welcome. iPhone 2, I don't know what you grabbed, but we had to kind of see what you grabbed. I don't know what that is.
Okay, so I have another question. So, the interest business, cards for funding, Excel spreadsheet that you shared.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're gonna provide, or was that something that we could find in that the $8 a year subscription?
Oh, nah, for sure. That's something that's only in the mentorship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the mentorship is $1,000.
Yep, only $1,000.
All right.
I have a question.
Yep, sure.
So somebody like myself, I have like 99% on-time payments. I have one hard inquiry from recently. I just have a high credit utilization. Would you be able to help someone like me?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Who do you bank with?
What'd you say?
Who do you bank with?
Bank of America.
Yeah, so usually when people have high credit card utilization, one of the things we do is we look at, like, there's some things that says loans and things you can get to pay off credit card utilization. One of the things that I would tell you to do is probably get an account with Navy Federal, because Navy Federal has an auto loan play that sometimes we help people get to kind of drop to pay down that debt depending on how much debt it is that you have. So it is what your situation is. But really that's the one of the things that happens within is that, yes, you're gonna also get a chance to work with me and the team, but you're gonna get a one-on-one call that we can look directly at your situation, where I'll give you a direct game plan on what's the next steps and how we can get around it. So
Okay, perfect.
just by tapping into the mentorship, and that's what you basically get access to.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because you've heard of the total and permanent disability discharge paperwork, right?
The what? Say it again.
It's total and permanent disability discharge. Because I'm physically impaired. So would you suggest using that for my credit, or would you suggest using your method? Because
I mean, well, one, I probably wouldn't go that route, is because I would still want to be able to get access to funding, and if banks and things know that you're impaired, then it's like, how are you making money? You know what I mean? So, you really just gotta look at all ends of the spectrum. Even though you have what you have, it's really like, yo, how can I get access to capital? And how, like, even still, I might not go that route specifically because I want to be able to put applications in saying I have a job, or saying I get some type of source of income so I can get access to credit cards, business credit cards, stuff like that, because I want to get access to capital so that I can scale and grow a business. So because the whole entire goal of this is really to create generational wealth, guys. The whole point of even us having this conversation is how can you create generational wealth? A lot of times you can't do it at a job. If the government is taking care of you, no disrespect, you can't, the government is not going to take care of your generational wealth. You can't pass down the government's money to your kids.
Right.
So it all
I'm
depends.
in exactly the same position that lady's in, and he's working with me. Mr. B is working with me. I ain't no ass kisser. I'm far from that. He is working with me to get me where I need to be. And I'm just saying, everybody you need to get on board, see what's happening, because it's damn well worth it. And I'm not getting paid for this saying this shit over there. I'm just telling you what's real, and he's gonna answer, and he's gonna do whatever it takes to get you in the right position.
I did.
For sure.
There you go.
I mean, even Leon started off with no credit. Right now, I think it's at 620, 630. I think it's at 620, 630. He's starting to get letters in the mail where people are like, basically trying to get him to start applying for credit cards. So Leon, we're gonna get together this week, bro, so we can start doing some of your pre-qualifications this week too. So
all right, bro. Okay.
The only reason I'm asking any of this is because, this is confidential, but given the amount that the Georgia makes for supplemental security income, yes, I know you have a payment plan, which will wind up being basically $1,500, but due to some family situations, I can't lock into completely 1,000 right away. So I'm just trying to figure out the best plan to be able to lock into the basically 1,500 to still get the mentorship at the same time. Even with making installment payments to get the mentorship. That's my main issue right now.
sure.
It's not a big issue. I did the same thing, and like I said, I'm on government assistance. I'm not gonna say it loud, but I'm on government assistance. I did the same thing, and my payments is almost over with.
But and the biggest thing is, like I said, a lot of times if you're in the situation that you're in now, Alexis, if you don't do something different, then it's not going to change. So you just gotta make a decision on, how bad you want to either stay in the situation that you're in, or how bad do you want to get out of that situation, right? And that's really up to you, right? It's really up to you. But congratulations to Jeremiah. Congratulations, my guy. I see you locked in. Can't wait to work with you. Who's next? Congratulations, Jeremiah. Right? Who's next? Because that's the most important part is how bad. Look, right now, if money is an issue and you don't do something about it, then it's always going to be an issue. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, you're going to get the exact same results. So at the end of the day, it's up to you, whoever's on the call, it's up to you to do something different. Because if you don't do something different now, then when is it ever going to change for you? See, a lot of time we make so many, and not just saying excuse, but we have so many reasons why we want to stay where we at and not realize that we need to make decisions based upon where we're going. Right? So what if you don't do anything different? Then you're going to stay in the same situation that you're in right now. And let's be real. Do you like the situation that you're in? And this is not to Alexis, this is for anybody on the call. Do you like the situation that you're in?
Hell no.
If you don't like it, then what are you willing to do to get out of the situation that you're currently in?
I got my plan, bro. I'm coming at you. Like I said, I'm a father coach. You're a coach. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on the football field, so give me the plays.
Let's make it happen. Yeah, but congratulations to Jeremiah. Make sure you schedule your onboarding. Who's next? There's a lot of people still here with me, locked in.
It won't be long. I'm just waiting a couple weeks for my settlement check, bro, and then we're gonna take off.
Okay. Who else? Who's next? And I'm still taking Q&A too. Still Q&A. So
I have a question.
okay.
So yeah, I set up my LLC a while ago, and I never kind of like looked back into it just because I was just educating myself on a whole bunch of stuff. But I just wanted to know, like, is there a way that I can figure out what NACE my LLC is structured under.
What did you set it up as?
I can't remember. That's why I was trying to figure out, is there a way that it's like I could log in and see, because I've tried, of course, like to log in and see everything that I've selected, but I just figured like I might as well start over since I just like literally paid for the LLC and then left it alone. I do have an EIN, but I don't know if I should just start a new LLC or just try to figure out
What's your
the one
goal?
that I have.
What's your goal? What you want to do?
Come again?
I said, what is your goals in terms of for the LLC, or like, what do you want to do?
Um, I'm a hairstylist, so I want to like transition into like digital marketing.
Okay.
And like I make my own products as well, so it's like I want to start making selling my products digitally, so I can like be able to be more able to travel and still, make money at the same time.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of, so do you have a coach or anybody that's helping you with your digital marketing?
Um, I'm very like self-motivated. Even though that's like no excuse, I should have a coach. I'm like literally been in this entrepreneurial space for some time now, and like I can't keep a job longer than 6 months. So I just figured that the Most High is telling me that I just need to stick it out with, be an entrepreneur. And but I don't have like any extra capital to even acquire a coach or a mentor or advisor. So yeah.
Makes sense. So it's the same thing for you. I mean, it's just you just need to have you need a coach. You know what I mean? Whether it's setting up everything kind of foundationally, what you're talking about right now is your foundational, your LLC, that's all foundational. But even now, building toward, you know what I mean, in terms of being someone who makes money online, who travels around the world and can make money anywhere around the world. We have a mentorship for that. Right. And it's only 5K. We basically show people how to create a multiple six-figure income online. When I played the video earlier, my guy who made 25 grand a month, he tapped into that mentorship. So really for you, it's really about foundational, just understanding, hey, like where you at right now, and then like, if I was you, I don't know exactly when you say you have no capital, I don't know exactly what that looks like, but if I was you, you could start with us working on your foundational, getting your credit, your LLC, and everything structured properly. You get funding, and then you can tap into the higher program. Boom. Now you get access to basically understand, even on my end, think about me. Like I have over 360,000 followers. We've been able to make, multiple six-figure income online. And basically you're going to get access to the system, frameworks, and processes on how we do it and how we build it.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I've been educating myself on like this topic as well as business credit for a while. So I know that my foundation and my structure needs to be set up properly. That's why I was just considering and just making a new one. I think for me, I just need that consistency to like get it really going. And plus, like you said, it needs to be 5 years, and I'm fresh in the game still. Still
Yeah.
getting my feet wet.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, that's why if I was you, you got to get a coach. Because it doesn't have to be me, but I would suggest getting with someone that you feel like can help you, that can hold you accountable, that can help you walk through it. You know what I mean? Like,
How much is your
the biggest thing about understanding this, if anybody on the call, if you already knew what you needed to be where you wanted to be, you would do it. Nobody's holding back success from themselves. A lot of times it's a step-by-step process. It's the accountability, right? It's somebody holding your hand and making sure you get there. Because think about it, if we all had to go from first grade to 12th grade on our own, who would have went to school every single day? Right? Who would have made sure that you took the test?
They've done something wrong.
Right? Like, so it's really important to understand that most of us as adults is one, invested in our mind, but also investing in getting the mentorship and coaching up and to the next level.
Hey, Ms. Brown, hey, one question. I've had landscaping company, lawn care company I had for years. You know, but I only operated like at a DBA. I never LLC or EIN it. It was just, you know, I was in between, kind of like a gig. That was my gig, you know, on the side. And then also I had worked a job, you know, a job in the warehouse, uh, or out there doing construction or bobcats and stuff. Or I know how to operate equipment like that. But you know, I wanted to with that landscaping business I had, you know, for like several years. Can I upgrade that to a new name and start over and
Yeah, bro, it's America, bro. You can do whatever you need.
okay.
It's America, man. Whatever you gotta do.
Like I had talked to you, I remember about like my I got a property that's undeveloped in the rural area. And it's got, you know, I got a lake up there, water, well water, and electric, and it's pretty much already ready for, like, you know, I was thinking about the tiny homes, shipping containers. Now, dealing with something like that, uh was that like requirement, like what's the S Corp, C Corp, you know, get involved?
That's all like tax and money making purposes, bro. So when you start talking about S corps and C corps, that's really when you start making more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you're not really making money, I would just kind of stick the way you at right now. Focus on kind of getting to a multiple, you know, at least a six figure, multiple six figure. You can start looking at whether you want to change to S corp or C corp. But
right.
changing your company is really from that perspective, it's really about how much money you're making.
Okay.
Come on, I'm still here with the Q&A. We still here, might as well. Ask your questions. A lot of y'all mute, got the cameras off.
How long will your mentorship offer last? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I would just tell you the success of speed. How fast do you want to change your life?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't peep that it was only $1,000, and I actually been cleaning my own credit by myself just based off the knowledge that I've acquired over the time of learning. And I I leveraged 1,500, but just with different credit cards. And so it's like I don't really know how to take it off and put it on one and put it in your pocket. So
yeah, you can just we have a payment plan. So if I was you, I would just start with a payment plan and we can figure it out the rest out later. Payment plan links is in the chat. So and I'm just saying that because success loves speed, you know, so it's how, like, us tapping and working together. Where could you really be? We work together next 3 months, next 6 months, next year. Like we always got to think about what is it going to look like if, like, when we don't make decisions. A lot of times, like, we are self-starters, we're go-getters, we got it. But it's like, yo, what if you actually collaborated with somebody else? Where could we be?
Right.
I've got a question for you with the mentorship. Like, I've got a team, about 3 or 4 of us that all are embarking on the same mission or similar missions. That your information could benefit us all greatly. Is there like a group rate, or would we all just do the 1,000?
We can work something out, bro. I'm also have an affiliate program, so it would be like if you tapped in and you could refer them, and then, you know, I pay out like an affiliate. Or if you want to do a group rate, we can work something out as well.
Yeah, that'll work.
So it's kind of how you want to do it. But you know,
Mr. Brown, how do grants, like rural grants and stuff like that, are grants good? I mean, what's the option for you to receive grants? I mean, if
grants
it's
are good.
available.
It's just not a process where it's grants are good. The thing about grants is that a lot of times that you're going through state funding, so you got to think, or like different type of funding. Well, think of it like basically there's no timeline on it. So where we can go into an application as long as we know that this is broken down, structured properly, boom, 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 we can go get the funding right now. But grants is more of like, it could be a waiting game. It could be a process. Some processes are a little bit, faster. Some are a little bit slower. So it's like something you really just don't have control over, really.
Right. Right.
Yes, I would definitely, I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
Okay.
Congratulations, Jason.
No, I have $44,000.
Any other questions?
Yo, yeah, this iPhone 2, I bought an access bundle back over the summer and it disconnected. I'm not sure what's happening when I click on the link. But it's like one of those email file PDF forms. But it's redirecting me. I'm not trying to deter anybody from going through your coaching, because I definitely was using it and utilizing the tools that you give me. But if I could just probably on one off and we can handle that or get that situated and stuff like that.
Last summer?
No, just like the summer that just passed. So I guess last summer, because we are in this summer, right?
A year ago?
From 20, yep.
Okay. Yeah, just shoot me a DM or something, bro, with your email. I think, or shoot me, DM me your email, and I'll just have to.
Sure. All right, man. I appreciate it for sure. Everything you do out here, man, for the people. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions?
How do I set up a payment plan?
The link is in the chat. Kim will probably redrop it, which we have a couple different ones. So
I got the link, but it just says like PayPal, like it doesn't like give me the option to do anything else.
You're on the full payment one. You're on the 1,000 one. Here you go. I'll redrop it for you. We have one is 500, one is 250. Or Kim, if you could put the payment plan links for. Jeff, you got DM me.
Sure.
Kim, drop the payment plan links, the 500 or 250 link in the chat. And then Jeff, you got DM me your email on Instagram, bro, because it's gonna get lost in the chat.
I bet that hurt.
David, I see you, my guys. Nice to see you. I'm gonna be in Cleveland, in Ohio, man. So I'm gonna be out there next month. You might want to come down to the event. We got a big event in Cleveland. So Naima, it's either the 500 or the 250 link that she just dropped in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much. I see it.
Can't wait to work with you.
You got any time you coming to St. Louis anytime?
St. Louis, the zoo?
Yeah.
Maybe.
314. The 314.
Yeah, the zoo is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Where y'all located at? Where's everybody located? Naima, where you located? Texas? You look like you're in Texas.
I actually want to move there, but I'm in Atlanta right now. I'm from Oakland, but I'm like I really don't want like a place to stay. Like I really enjoy traveling, but I'm from Oakland, so of course I'm always have a place to stay.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I'm in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, I'll be for anybody in Atlanta, shoot me a DM. I'll be in Atlanta May 31st, June 1st.
June 1st.
Yep, May 31st and June 1st. So if you're in Atlanta, I'll be speaking.
Are you doing like a webinar or something?
Nah, it's an in-person event. That event is with more structure on how to make money. So we have it, in the e-commerce industry, how you can really make up to 6-figure income online e-commerce. So that's another thing that we also specialize in, is showing people how to make money outside of just being able to have the foundational things that you need to get access to capital as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
When are you hosting another Zoom meeting? Because me and my partner, he wasn't actually present for this one, so I was just curious and I'd like to know when you're gonna host another one, because he just wants more information.
But if I was you, since you was already here, if I was you, you should tap in now. You can come on next Sunday, but you should tap it now since you was here the whole time. And at the end of the day, based upon your situation, we need to start working on getting negative items off now. We don't need to, you don't need to wait. Another thing for anybody still listening to the sound of my voice, too many people procrastinate. Procrastination is not going to help. It's not going to really help you be successful. Anybody that you know really is successful, they do not procrastinate.
Right.
Right. So if you was already on a call and you know we got these negative items, we can start working on it right now. You mean your significant other husband, you know what I mean, he could definitely come next week, but I do it every single Sunday. But at the end of the day, don't procrastinate when it comes to changing your life.
Right.
Can I share something just for encouragement, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
So I was reading a book. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big. And one thing that stuck out to me in the beginning of the book was just a quick little story. So the guy, he had land and he was digging for gold or diamonds or whatever, and he couldn't find it. So he sold it, thinking he was going to find it elsewhere. And when he sold it to the new guy continued to dig and he found the gold and the diamonds and whatnot. And the guy who originally owned the land ended up killing himself because
Oh my God.
sad and depressed about not having it. But long story short, that just goes to say, like, don't give up. Like, regardless of what's going on in your life, like, keep digging, because you could, like, tomorrow could be the day you win, and you fed up right now, but it's like you just keep going. You feel me? It's gonna be worth it. So I just had to put that out there. That's what reminded me when you said procrastination, because I do have that, but you feel me?
Right.
Like, I'm working on it.
For sure.
Sure. We all got to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
Where would that event be held? May 31st. Shanisha, I'll send you the flyer. Shoot me a DM, Shanisha, if you got my Instagram.
Will you be doing that again at another city somewhere other than Atlanta?
Where are you located, Felicia?
I'm actually in Atlanta, but I'm back and forth between Atlanta and Virginia right now, in Richmond.
Richmond?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. Just, I mean, the best thing for anybody too is just like, the reason why I just say to tap into the mentorship is because essentially when you get access to me, different events, different things I got going on, you guys gonna know about it because you have access. And then we also do a call every Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. too, for anybody that does decide to tap in. So we got another call tomorrow, and that's more so for building, like just building, whether it's your business, whether it's your situation. Like we got a call for just kind of like just building as well. So I'm always big on helping people build and understand that we can't do it alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? The reason why I do what I do is because I know that I didn't have anybody that was willing to teach me how to get access to capital. There was nobody really teaching me how to build my business. These are all things I had to kind of I had to grow through, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. So even to this day now, I have a property that's on the market. We have, we make money in e-commerce. If you were following me, I was in Turks all weekend because what I do with the e-commerce, they pretty much gave us an all expense paid vacation in Turks. Turks and Caicos. So it's so much that you can do depending on what kind of access that you get, what kind of environment that you're in, the people you attach yourself to. And that's really what we got to realize. I moved to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm really from Baltimore, Maryland. I come from nothing, right? I used to be broke. I watched my family struggle. The reason I moved to Fort Lauderdale is because what kind of environment do you want to be in? Right? Like too many of us, like who heard that statement that like, yo, you are the 5 people that you spend the most time with, right? Who's heard that before? We all heard it. But I bet you if you look at the phone right now, look at the last 5 people that you talked to, the last 5 people you hung around, it probably was people that can't help you get anywhere more than where they at right now. So yeah, we all know the statements, but how effectively are we really applying it to our lives? Look at who you texting, who you spending your time with, who you talking to on the phone, who you hanging around. If they can't help you really achieve the dreams and goals that you have, why are you spending so much time with them? So we hear the statements, yeah, but they might say it's cliche, but how many people are really using it to really build their life? My man Oscar, you hopped on late, bro. You gotta come to the party on time. Any other questions? No, different link. So Billy, different link. So that's really for people who tap into the mentorship. So if you tap into the mentorship, I will see you on there. You'll get access. You'll be a part of the community. Congratulations to Ben. Oh, Shanitra. Yep. You'll get access. Congratulations, Shanitra. Can't wait to work with you. Can't wait to work with you. Who's next? See, that's the thing about y'all. People, why y'all procrastinating? Some people want to see people ain't procrastinating. What are you waiting for? Why would you wait to change your life?
Man, I'm ready. I ain't got time to wait.
Yeah, we're gonna do something different today. Ain't nothing
Right.
else.
I'm
About
not
to
gonna
do-
lie. I get on a flight home on Tuesday, and like all my credit cards are at home, so I kind of have to wait until I get home to even purchase it.
I'll get back to Cali.
Yeah, I gotta get back there. I gotta get back
Yeah.
there. I tried to get. I tried to book it before Sunday, but it didn't work out for me. So
That's because you love traveling, you relaxing in the A. You know, you gotta turn up, yo. You can people look, a lot of times we have to make sacrifices. Like you might like to do something, but if it ain't making you money, then sometimes that shit gotta stop. Like, yo, I gotta make 6 figures. And I'm not, this is like, not to take it personal, but I'm just being 100 with you. Like, you might like to try. Look, we like different things. Look, you know what I mean? I might like to be a porn star, but I don't get paid to, you know what I mean, do that. I don't got time for that. That got to wait. You see what I'm saying? So for all of us, we got different things that we gotta cut it out. And we gotta lock in. Right? Like you gotta build a multiple 6-figure business. You have to build an empire. Do you have any kids, Naima?
absolutely not. I'm 22 years young.
Okay, perfect. Do you have a mom?
Of course.
Is your mom working right now, 9 to 5?
No, she's not. She actually stopped to take care of my grandmother.
Bingo. So that's something that's very important where, boom, think about that. They need your help.
Of course, I know.
Yeah. So what could 10,000 a month do for you and help you and your mom and your grandma? What could 20 grand a month do for you to help you and your mom and your grandma? And just because you're 22, it don't mean that you can't make 20, 30, 40 grand a month win.
I definitely know. I feel like I've definitely came a long way as far as my knowledge on this information. So I'm definitely giving myself grace. I'm definitely way better at procrastination than I was before.
It's not that you're not giving yourself grace, but what I'm saying is that you got to change your life right now. You know what I'm saying? 20 grand a month. You can do that. You can do that in the month of June. If you locked in.
You're right. And I will. And it's already happened. I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I know that you would have also did it in May if you was already locked in. You see what I'm saying? You would have did it in March. You would have did it in April. You would have did it in January. So you got to lock in.
Right. Right. I appreciate it. I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Trust me.
We're going to see when them checks roll in. Right. Digital marketing. Leonard, who else on here? Ronald. Anybody got any questions before we go? Felicia, what we doing? What we doing, Felicia?
I have to wait too. I'm gonna have to do the payment plan, but I'm definitely gonna do it this week.
Okay, let's do it. Listen, if money is an issue, then you got to do it when? Now. No opportunity wasted. There you go. I'm telling you, listen, generational wealth. Listen, I tell people all the time, think about it. If your family is dependent on you and money is an issue, what happened if something happened right now? Like, what would happen? Think about it. If something happened right now and 250, do anybody think 250 or $500 really is something is it really a lot of money? No, we know it's not, right? So we gotta look at our situation like, yo, I gotta do something different ASAP. When I was broke, listen, we gotta do something different right now.
I
had to
mean,
take my win, like right away. Like, you know what I'm saying? I understand that even in our community, see, we hang around a lot of people. A lot of time we hang around people, we around people, see, the people that we come up with, the environment that we in, they think it's okay to be like where we at. Imagine if you started hanging around people, right? And it's like, yo, 20 grand is broke to them. Imagine hanging around people and 30 grand in the account is broke to them. See, a lot of times we don't raise our standards because we're around people that make us think small. But if we hung around people that had different standards than we had, guess what it would make us do? We ought to raise the bar.
That is absolutely true, because I just thought about the last 5 people that I had in my phone index, and it was one that was in 6-figure range, and everybody else is way below that.
Bingo. So all the other 4 gotta go. I wouldn't be talking about before. They gotta go. I ain't got time.
so does like
what happens is like the people we spend our time with, yo, it's an environment. Why do you think wealthy people and rich people live the life that they live, and then their kids live the same exact life, and then they had it's environments. And what do you think happens to broke people? No disrespect, but it's just like, because it's all your environment. And the only time that you think it's okay is because you're in the environment where someone makes you think it's okay. But if you was in an environment where it wasn't okay, look, everybody in here got it in them. You got it in you. But it always takes you getting around someone else who show you what's possible. It's like, all right, bet, now I'm gonna snap into it. So shout out to you for being on the call. Most of you didn't have to get on the call. There's people that registered for the call and didn't get on the call. Shout out to you on the call. But what I'm saying is, like, now let's really do something about it. If you know that you hang around people that's broke and they can't help you get to the next level, stop hanging around them. Stop spending time. Stop texting. Stop calling. It's like, just stop. Why? Because it's really making decisions to change your life. What does it look like? Yo, if I'm on the phone with people that's not gonna help me get to where I gotta go, then think about it. I'm telling you, they're gonna drag you down. That's just how it works. iPad, what we doing?
You said Conrad?
Nah, I said it's the iPad. But no, that's pretty much it. We ain't got no more questions.
Nah, bro.
Yo,
I'm gonna get with you on that stack, bro. We right.
get on it, bro. Let's do it. Let's run it up.
Yeah.
Can't wait to work. Can't wait to work, y'all.
Yeah. Same to you. Same to you.
Yeah, so I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on my travels. And we out. Hold up, somebody dropped something. Thank you for the information. For sure, Shanisha, make sure you schedule your grand open, your onboarding. If not, I'll make sure we send you the link. Can't wait to work with you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Naima. You need to get back to Oakland ASAP. We need to tap
Thank you.
I'm on it.
Okay, Alexis Jones, I see you. Let's not depend on the government no more.
Oh, can you where's your event gonna be at in May? Or on the 1st?
You got my Instagram?
Yeah, I emailed you I DM'd you my email.
Okay, bet. I'll make sure I get it to you. Alexis, let's do it. Alexis, let's not keep depending on the government. We can't depend on the government, because I promise you, the government will make sure you don't get anywhere near generational wealth. That's for sure. That's for sure. That's why they want more people living off the government. Because the more people they got living off the government, when they tell you do something, if they say move, you got to move. When I move, you move. Like, you're gonna have to move just like that.
Just like that. Oh, I forgot
yeah. So
let me get out of here.
But no, I love y'all, man, for sure. And I'll see y'all on my travels. We out.